can also be a burden on them, that the senior citizens, women are more. That's a burden on them in terms of health, in terms of the care that they need. So we need to make special provisions for that. Life expectancy at birth, these are the common problems: reduced mobility, family dependencies, all these increase, as all of you are aware. Then depression, incontinence, widowhood, all these are issues that senior citizens have to deal with, and we have to find some good solutions for these. And health continues to be a major problem for the senior citizens, as all of you are aware. Similarly, some of the impoverished senior citizens, they need to be provided additional source of income. They have to continue to work because they don't have family support, they don't have support, so they need to continue to work. And they also have to be provided for effectively. Next. And the rural areas, as we mentioned, that look, proper pension schemes are not there. The national old age pension scheme continues to stall at about 200 rupees, and there's a top up mostly by many states, but uniformly across the country it continues to be 200 rupees or so, and that needs to be revised very substantially. So these are again the symptoms of the old age persons in the rural areas of the country. Next one, please. So all this points to need for a comprehensive care of the elderly, and which calls for increased lifestyle changes. Appropriate social welfare programs need to be tailored. Next one. So 99 national policy was there, and it addressed some of these issues. It tried to talk about some of these issues. I won't say it addressed many of these issues. It spoke about some of these issues. Some of the younger lot who stay back in the country, legal enforceability becomes a problem. All these issues. The young lot have all migrated. Given that situation, they don't mind paying. Some of them don't mind paying, but the facilities are not there. How do we build facilities for the older citizens? That's also a key issue that we need to deal with. That's a current social reality that many, which is paralyzing the senior citizens and the society very substantially. That's something that we need to cope with. So the 2011 national policy spoke about mainstreaming senior citizens, about providing various facilities for them, and it drew upon the UN agenda and all this stuff. Recognized that women live longer, that we have to sustain all these things which are generally we all know about. Those were items which the national policy of 2011 spoke about. Next one. Then it came out the National Action Plan 2020, the National Action Plan Welfare of Senior Citizens, focuses on present schemes, future plans, strategies of the National Action Plan. Next one. So these are various government schemes. All of us are aware about Indira Gandhi National Old Age Pension Scheme that's endured, but This is an experience with the Chandra Rajeshwar Rao, mainly the work of Dr. S. N. Rao, so I will not dilate much on this. All of us are aware of these various things that happen. This is one case study which he developed. Next one, please. Next one, please. Next one. So, see, these are few suggestions which are cataloged from the inmates. I will not dwell upon them. All of you will be aware of them. So, this will be more useful for those who are not senior citizens. Next one. Next. So these are some of the policies challenges which I mentioned on Dr. S. N. Rao's work. Institution building is very important. For this, we need to do research. Strengthening intergenerational bonds, strengthening the joint family relations. These are key issues that we need to focus on for the senior citizens. Next one. Yeah. Next one. Okay. Go ahead next. Yeah. It's okay. Next one. Healthcare is something that needs to be provided effectively. Home care is the best care, and we need to provide for special arrangements for the healthcare. That's something that we need to talk about effectively. Next one. Yeah, next. The old age homes are important for the senior citizens because, as I was mentioning, in the face of very active migration out of the country and away from the places where people live, so providing for the old age homes has become. Hospices are there in the country. We need to provide for more hospices, and active system for encouraging the development of hospices is something that we need to do. Next one. Okay, next. For this initiative just now come about in about 2007 or so. Encouraging voluntary organizations, NGOs, CBOs, and welfare associations, senior citizens to partner in providing services. This partnership is very vital, important. We need to forge those relationships between the government and the senior citizens associations in particular. Establishment of old age homes through public-private partnership is very important because even if you want to establish an old age home for the poor, land is difficult, constructing is difficult. Operation can be a strong point with the senior citizen associations. They need to be interested with that. But government can step up, they can give the land, construct the buildings, and then operation management can be given to senior citizen associations. That's something that we need to focus on. So as I mentioned, emphasis has to be on those who are poor, disabled, infirm, without family support. That's something that we need to focus on still. Next. Then encouraging senior citizens to form informal groups. That's something that we encourage in Delhi, and I'm sure your association is also in the same line. And it needs to be strengthened further. Main, they have to support themselves, work with the government and with others. Healthcare is another major issue. As I was mentioning, public health services need to provide not only preventive, curative, rehabilitative, and geriatric healthcare. Geriatric is a major sort of a disappointment in the country. Still, the healthcare has not focused so much on geriatric healthcare. There are not too many specialists who specialize in geriatrics. There's not much encouragement in the medical fraternity towards geriatric healthcare. So those are some things that we need to focus on. Geriatrics as a discipline needs to come on to its own in this country and in problems. Recently, about 2 weeks back, I was caring for my mother, trying to provide for her hospital expenses, insurance, and it was such a huge problem. Somehow or other, the insurance tried to hoodwink people, escape making the payment, and so on. Those problems are there. So, as a common citizen, I went around, I tried to get the insurance for my mother, lot of difficulty, but my PA called up the hospital to say that, look, he's an IAS officer, then it happened. Still, these problems are there. I didn't ask him to do it, but he did. And the hospital senior citizen associations. We need to sensitize the trade unions, employee organizations to care for the senior citizens and how we can organize programs for them on aging, especially those who are about to retire, like myself, in about 3-4 years' time. Next. Research and education is important. As I was mentioning that we are a think tank, not much work is done because from the time 2018 when I did a lot of literature survey to find out the senior citizens, status of senior citizens care in the entire world and in the country. From that day to this day, not much change in the body of knowledge in this area. So we need to do substantial amount of research. We need to come up with stronger policies, stronger intervention mechanisms, stronger dialogues and discussions on how the senior citizens lot can be alleviated better by the government, by the various other stakeholders. Then we need to sensitize the children so that they can stay with the senior citizens, catch them young, as they say, talk about the senior citizens lot and make them sensitive from early on. Some place they can go to on a regular basis where they can interact with some of their brethren. They can have a productive time there. They can have a entertainment filled time, and where the health care services can also be focused, the senior citizens can be taken care of. All the services can be routed to the senior citizens in that place. So we developed these senior citizens recreation centers. When I was there as Secretary Social Welfare in Delhi, we developed about 76 of them, and after that there was a lull, and recently again the government of Delhi has recognized that this is an important and good thing to do. So they came up with developing more senior citizens recreation centers, and we did these things, provide a platform for senior citizens to spend time with others in the same age group, to give sense of belonging, to meet recreational and emotional needs, because basically we provide the newspapers, magazines, the TV, yoga, meditation, all those services are provided in the senior citizen recreation center. So the senior citizens are productively occupied. The group can also go and do social welfare. They can engage themselves in social welfare activities and engage with the school teaching and various other things that can then come there. So I think that will be a good forum for us to leverage upon. Next one. So these are some of the implementation policies that we developed, such as say actions for old age homes need to be developed, because there are various types of old age homes can be there. Senior citizens homes can be there. Those who can pay, those who cannot pay. So even if people are willing to pay, those standards are not available. So we need to develop welfare. Similar plans should be there in other parts of the country, because requirements, initiatives keep evolving, emerging time to time. So it'd be good to take stock every 5 years, come up with a new plan and operationalize it. Channelizing efforts of NGOs, senior citizens, forums, that also needs to be done. In 2005, I spoke about the Senior Citizen Welfare Fund for Delhi. The Government of India in 2011 policy, they also came up with a National Senior Citizen Welfare Fund, which needs to be funded on a contributory basis. Similar funds can be there in the various states, in cities, in setting minimum standards of service, as I mentioned, increasing awareness about problems of senior citizens through mass media, educational institutions, which are still relevant, because these are 18-year-old recommendations, but many of them still relevant. So I thought I'll bring these to light today. Next one. Enabling support for maintenance, care and protection of senior citizens. Recommendation on awards for those doing outstanding work in the area of senior citizens is something, again, which has been recognized in the senior citizens policy. They came up with the and trying to advocate this with the government. And I'll not dwell much more, because you've come for a different purpose, visiting an IRD. I'd only like to request you to make your valuable contribution. 5 minutes? Yeah, sure.
Thank you so much, sir.
You want my name? This one.
Now, Sri Manohar Mehrani, sir, would like to share some.
Come and meet, and thank you very much for all the hospitality which is being extended and the encouragement which we have got. 2 or 3 points I want to say. First is what prompted us to think of coming here. The first thing which prompted us was that AISCCON is a apex body of various affiliates spread in more than 19 states of India, and we have a access to the almost more than 3 million rural people. So whatever we are in urban, we thought that we are living in urban cities, but then behind we have a big representation of. So we become the voice of seniors in the rural belt, and that has given us an opportunity that AISCCON is recognized as a consultative body in the United Nations Socio-Economic Council. So that is one extreme which we enjoy the stature. The other extreme is that we have the senior citizens which are totally destitute and depending upon charity. So there is a very wide range. So where to fix the line? So the most important line which we wanted to fix was that find the deserving senior citizens for whom possibly we can think of some policy measures. We are very nice to see the presentation, but when they talked in the evening, he said, "You are coming and disturbing my peace by giving us illumination." I asked him, "Sir, why?" "My children will stop sleeping early and get livelihood projects and the rural technologies which could be drawn as a knowledge base and converted into a sustainable schemes, and we can go to the CSR or other avenues and find some avenues to see that these schemes are well taken. Use us that we have some value addition capability as well, unlike Japan. So there is a barrier in the mindset of all the institution organizations which we have met, that our voice is not heard and we are simply taken as policy came National Digital Literacy Mission. So we were very keen because we are housebound, most of the seniors, and some of the seniors which are living in my neighborhood, they thought that this digital literacy will help us a lot because we are home confined. And the seniors were the literacy mission. Then I took up this with all the possible avenues through Ministry of Social Justice, Information Technology and whatnot. It carries some meaning and it has some merits. It can reach the right corners. Somewhere in the government, not only the Ministry of Rural Development but other ministries as well, post the projects which they are looking for CSR fund. But there is no place independent where the senior citizens can find a relevant, and the encouragement, as I said, which you gave us is very quite encouraging for us, is the hospital reforms. So this National Health Mission, if we can discuss together which we found was that there is a priority for even in AIMS. It is my personal example. When I went to the AIMS, my card was given as a priority because I am senior citizen. But when I went to the, after taking that slip and I went to doctor, there was no priority. So the priority was half given, half slot off. So these are the voids which come from when we get the feedback from the ground. So these ground feedbacks, we can have some networking with the institute like this and get enlightened on the technologies, and also we give a feedback on the voids which we are facing, which can reach the right place. So this is what is my submission. And the second example is Vietnam, where we have seen that the elderly self-help groups, which is in India also existing, all our elderly self-help groups are 100% for elders only. Whereas in Vietnam, it is 30% young youth and 70% elders. And that scheme is working very fine. Because if we say that elderlies will do everything themselves, that is not a correct, I don't want to say that it is correct or incorrect, but whether it is rational or not, that we have to think. if I have 80 plus people, 90 plus people, and if you say that the entire ESG scheme has to be implemented, operated, and sustainability taken care of it, then there has to be a blending of youth in the policies or in the schemes or in the programs of the Ministry of Social Justice, whatever they are giving. So some kind of a blending is required, because it should not happen that we talk that the older policy of 99 is society for all ages. But in reality, it is society of youth and isolation for senior citizens. So if we get isolated, then it becomes a problem. So somewhere in the policy, if a word goes that youth blending in implementation of ESG schemes can happen, then there can be wonderful results which can come in our country. That's what we believe. The one last example which I want to give, as you rightly said, where we have a tremendous scope, and this is my final submission. When I was in an engineering college in 1960s, that time whole country was having an industrialization process, and a lot of core industries were going on. All the steel sector, cement sector, power sector, everything was getting grown. And there was a huge demand for the technical workforce. Industrial training institutes were set up. These ITIs, more than 150 to 200 ITIs were set up in each state of our country. And these were in most of the districts and some of them in rural places. So when they were getting trained, there was an immediate job employment for them in the industry. So immediately they were getting absorbed. And if we take the entire country situation, there are more than 7,000 to 8,000 ITIs in the country. Now in 1960s, this was the need in pace with the industrialization process. The industrialization process changed in 1990, and the core industry went on the background, the IT industry went on the upfront, and the core industry slowly came down. And then we are bringing out the health sector, which is now prominent. So can government, various ministries, various organizations can think of reforming these ITIs as caregiver universities like IGNOU. So if 50% of that infrastructure, the idling lathe machine there, idling milling machine there, which is of no use there. I mean, nobody uses those manual lathe machines today. But even if 30, 40, 50% of those resources are converted and gradually brought into this domain of National Health Mission, that they can become the caregiver universities learning, there can be a dramatic results which can India can see. And in that process, the AISCCON like organization can also contribute in some way or the other, because we have the presence in 19-20 states and most of them in rural. So if a forum is there, we can come to a conclusion that in what way it can be consolidated. The thoughts can be taken forward. So this is all was our submission, and we look forward to visiting your technology park, and hope that this will be a beginning which will continue for a longer time. Thank you very much.
Dr. Narendra Kumar, we are very, very happy and grateful to you for giving this opportunity. And it was very nice to see that you have been associated with, there's no problem, it will go. You have been associated with the policy of 1999 and afterwards with the Delhi state and all that. Very nice. You have touched each and every point. But the fact is, which probably you would like to, you are also aware, you've touched it, that those are all things beautifully drawn on the document of 1999, and on the ground there is ageism prevailing. There is so much that we are ignored. I will give you one or two examples. The policy, sir, you talked about 2011 is not being recognized by the ministry themselves. They say that Moni Giri made it, we don't want it. Dr. Raghavinder, this man, Dr. Gangadhar was the member of that. So that he told me that policy has not been accepted by the ministry. Now we got a draft in 2020 of the policy. Then we were told to give our views. We gave our views, and after that policy is not seen at all. Sir, about 2007 Act, you are very well aware, this was a beautiful act, but what has been the implementation? It was saying one old age home in each district. It never came. I am talking about Uttarakhand. The government even does not know where is that act. What is to be done? The Secretary Social Welfare doesn't even bother about that act. He said, I am not aware. We don't need to make old age homes. Then there is a problem from the government administration also. They say we should not have their families, we should have elderly with their children. But how it is possible? That's the problem. There is a disintegration. The water is flowing down the Ganges. We are not able to cope up. Children are going abroad, children are in the army, children are in Bangalore, children are there. How should we have that care of the elderly? It's not possible. So we have to see the reality. We are at the right place today, and you said that you want to have the feedback. Please give us a contact. We will tell you what is happening with us. One example is, COVID is over. We are talking about getting into the fifth. We are the fifth GDP. We want to get to the third. And for senior citizens, few hundreds of crores of concession. You are talking about the rural poor. Senior citizens are 70% rural, and that has been withdrawn. It is not being given back. Hundreds of crores. We are giving to Afghanistan. We are giving it to Sri Lanka. We are giving to other things, and senior citizens are not being taken care. Why this ageism? Why this indifference? Kindly help us. I am talking to you my frustration of the senior citizens, because you are at the right place. You want to tell to the government what should be done, but central government presently has no importance for senior citizens. We have been to Shastri Bhavan. There is no department working actually for senior citizens. There is some indifference happening. It's all right. Now what we have stopped is, we are doing now, what can we do? We have taken, what you are talking about, the day center, can you believe? We purchased from our own money a flat and started the day center. Beautiful works. We are having beautiful programs. Kuch bhi boliye. We are talking about learn music. And hum nahi bhulenge, dementia, attacking the dementia. So we are having our own initiatives, and we are telling people, start your initiatives out of CSR, out of your own collection. कुछ तो पैसा तो है, कुछ यही रहेगा, वहाँ जाएगा नहीं, कुछ तो करो खर्च. ये हमारा अपना initiative है. But we would like to give feedback to you. Please give us a contact and we will give you. Thank you very much.
MWPC Act 2007. The complaints of the senior citizen to the police department is cognizable and valuable, but police department noted as a non-cognizable. Not only that they say that just take that non-cognizable, and they not get the inquiry of the complaint, and not only that, they just ask go to the court of law, and the maintenance code, that is also tribunal code, that is maintained by the SDM. They say that there is no overriding effect. Actually, 2007 Act is having overriding effect, and all the other acts are below it. But they just give the complaint that go to this act and approach the court of law. So this is going on injustice in each state of the India. Even Goa, there one widow, she has been vacated from her house, and there is the complaint is not ordered by SDM, and he has not. He just asked go to the court of law to the widows. So please take the note of this. Thanks.
I am from Andhra Pradesh, Satyasai district. Recently, we started a Senior Citizens Association a week back. I learned that these organizations, all the organizations, NIRD or something, why don't they go for a research in one district or one mandal or one village? Why don't they submit the report to the governments so that it can be implementable to solve all the problems? what I feel, all the politicians in the country, they are not at all coordinating with this organization. Why don't you represent the same matter to the President of India? Why don't you ask him to do justice to the senior citizens? Thank you, sir.
I am from Odisha, Professor Kalu Sahu, President Paschim Odisha by Secunderabad Mahasangh. Sir, the priority is given for health care of the senior citizens. But you will be surprised to know that the health decks in the government hospitals, where the priority should be given to the senior citizens, are totally not available. Neither outdoor tickets are available separately, nor bed provisions, nor health care provisions are made even in the district headquarters. So health care, though it is priority, it is neglected by the state government as well as by the center. Please take care.
Good evening, sir. As already many of our colleagues have given a lot of valuable suggestions, it's a little pain on my part to just express the problems of the senior citizens, especially Karnataka. See, this act, which is 2007 Act MWP, that totally it is only on the paper. It is not practically implemented to the ground level. The entire policy is in the policy is in the paper only. Even the district administrators are not taking any initiation for taking care of the senior. No doubt, the law is very fantastic. So many departments, revenue, police, health, and all the 7, 8 departments, they have given the responsibility to take care of the senior citizen. But none of the department, none of the official is bothered, and they are totally neglected. So our community is totally neglected. So I sincerely appeal and request you that at central government level as well as at state level, this act has to be implemented very strictly. Especially, this will be benefited for the rural senior citizens. So there are so many facilities of central as well as state, but there is no awareness, sir. So I request that the district administration of the entire state and the nation also, they should put the holdings in the panchayat, in the district level, in taluka places, in mandal panchayat, so that every senior citizen of particular mandal or the village will come to know what are the benefits the government, both central as well as state. So there are, as I have seen your presentation, sir, so there should be understanding, coordination, cooperation between the NGOs and all. But we are all working for the welfare of the senior citizen in a different level. See, we are facing the financial problem. We are handicapped with the finance. We are unable to go in detail and give the services to the needy senior citizens in the rural areas. So I request that if the state government or the central government, it coordinates and gives any financial support, definitely, sir, we are all already working for the welfare of the senior. All sitting here, all the AISCCON, all the state organizations, we are all already working for the senior citizen. We are not expecting anything. So my request is that if there is a government financial support in awareness program, in a health program, in other programs, then we will be very pleased to convey our thanks to the government. Thank you very much. And especially, sir, we are appealing the problems of the senior citizens to the concerned assistant commissioner. We will place an order, but there is no perfect direction in the law whether the police department has to implement or the revenue people have to implement. So they will place the order, that they will give the justice to the senior citizen, but no one is implementation. Again, the senior citizen is suffering. So that implementation, particularly for the orders placed by the external commissioner or affiliating a deputy commissioner, that has to be brought in the papers, it will be circulated so that some of the department will take care of the senior citizen orders. Thank you.
Thank you very much for listening to our pain. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much to the members for sharing their concerns and suggestions. Yeah, please carry on, sir. Yeah, please, sir, please. Yeah, sir, please carry on.
I am Ramakrishna Rao from Secunderabad, Andhra Pradesh. There are several acts are there, but implementation is nil. That's what our colleagues are telling. Implementation very poor. Thank you.
Good evening, sir. I am Dr. Rao from Hyderabad city. Most of the colleagues have told all correct things. What you have expressed in your PowerPoint presentation is also very good. All the schemes are good, all the plans are good, but the implementation is good. So the implementation is government authority. And the government authority is guided by the IAS officers. So the IAS officer, they no doubt they give, but the government authority, they will not listen to what IAS officer says. So all our efforts, all the knowledge which you have, all the efforts we take is going waste. So the politicians only understand the power of vote. And we are lacking the unity, and we don't have a solid vote power. If we have solid vote power, then government will come to us and they will listen to us. So that is the only difference. In question of rural area, the problems are different. Most of them are depending on agriculture, and most of them are illiterate. So these are the problems. And some of the children, they are going away to rural, urban areas, are working and they left alone. So this should be in the study proper perspective. There should be proper schemes and NGOs to address these problems. So if these three things are there, definitely a day will come for serious action. Thank you.
सर मैं तो हिंदी में बोलना चाह रहा हूँ. मेरा नाम मल्ला रेड्डी है. मैं तेलंगाना हैदराबाद से हूँ. हमारे सीनियर सिटीजन्स जो है ऑल इंडिया लेवल में आपने जितने भी जो बात करें अपने अपने एसोसिएशन और CRS के इसके तहत में सभी लोग बात करें हैं. मैं पूछना चाह रहा हूँ कि गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया हमारा PF मिनिमम जो हमारा पेंशन था उसके पैसे अभी तक नहीं डिसाइड करे तो ऐसे स्कीम में क्या डिसाइड करने क्या हमको रहता. देखिए 60 लाख लोग जो है रोडों पे है, उनका पैसा खुद देने में तकलीफ हो रहा है गवर्नमेंट को. तो पैसा पूरा स्कीम कहाँ दे देगी. मिनिमम पेंशन जो है 1000 बोल के 1000 भी किसी को नहीं दे रहे. ये पैसा हमारा है, सीनियर सिटीजन से वो भी कोई बार नहीं है. ये इंडिया के पूरे सीनियर सिटीजन में वो भी है. 60 लाख लोग जो है रिप्रेजेंटेशन कर रहे हैं, 4 साल से लड़ रहे हैं. उसी का कोई अता पता नहीं है, अभी तक कोई नहीं देता है. तो इतने पूरी स्कीम जो है आपकी बात करें साहब जो है ये स्कीम का क्या भरोसा. हमारा पैसा देने में भरोसा नहीं है तो फिर ये गवर्नमेंट हमको क्या देता है. सीरियसली तैयार है हम लोग हमारे कंट्रीब्यूशन तो करने के लिए तैयार है, फिर भी उसके लिए आप बताए दो हमको ध्यान नहीं देते. आप बोल रहे हो सीनियर सिटीजन के लिए हम लोग तैयार है, हम जो है उनके इंतजाम हम करेंगे, मगर ध्यान नहीं मिलता. लैंड जाने का उसका पैसा नहीं है तो उसको तो लैंड दो, सीरीज को बुलाइए, हमको दीजिए, हम बनाने के लिए तैयार है. हमारा पैसा खर्च करने के लिए तैयार है. आज भी हम दुनिया के वास्ते इंडिया में हम ये इंडिया को कहना करें और सीनियर अलग सीनियर हम नहीं है क्या. हमारा PF पैसे हमारा पैसा देने में आपको इतना तकलीफ है तो इतने पूरे स्कीम हमारे सामने ला के गवर्नमेंट के जो भी आर्डर से बाहर निकाल के तो पब्लिक को बताना कैसे है, मगर इम्प्लीमेंटेशन नहीं है. जैसा साफ बोले कोई इम्प्लीमेंटेशन नहीं हो रहा. कई सालों से देख रहा हूँ, मेरा 76 ईयर्स है मेरा. मैं तो बोल रहा हूँ कि गवर्नमेंट में कोई सीधा सुधी नहीं है. हम बड़े बड़े लोग हैं, हमारे तो बहुत बड़े बड़े लोग हैं. हम लोग पूरा एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन मालूम है, किसी को नहीं मालूम वो कौन से ऑफिस में काम नहीं कर. अभी जो आप बता रहे थे कोई ऑफिस में है तो कोई कागज नहीं करता. गवर्नमेंट का ऑर्डर बराबर है, लॉ बराबर है, सब बराबर. हम फिर भी बिता लिए. ये मेरा ख्याल है. आप जरा कैसा निर्भर करके इसका रिप्रेजेंट करना बोल के भाई नमस्कार.
My name is S. Sridhar. I am representing All
India Senior Citizen Confederation, where 18 lakh pensioners are spread over in the country. I traveled almost all the states. I met thousands of senior citizens, that is pensioners. During Corona, we have conducted digital literacy programs, hybrid events. We conduct hundreds of programs, virtual meetings with our pensioner community and also administration. As a pensioner, because all our railway pensioners, 18 lakh pensioners, they are getting an average of 50,000 rupees pension. And we are involved in senior citizen activities. We are an affiliate of All India Senior Citizen Confederation. As a partner organization of AISCCON, we involved in conducting medical camps. Health awareness camps are very important. Awareness camps, cancer awareness camps, diabetic awareness camps, and medical checkup camps like dental checkup, eye checkup, and all these things, cataract operations, and the running of old age homes also. We monitor the running of old age homes at various places. Our pensioners are involved in resident welfare associations also, and they are also almost in an entire country. Our railway pensioners are involved in senior citizen organizations. Wherever we go, I come across the pensioners involved in senior citizen organizations as presented by our Director General. So whatever activities are there, what I feel that the awareness programs, maximum awareness programs are required to be conducted, digital literacy programs, health awareness programs, and a lot of interaction with the people, that too through virtual meetings nowadays, because we have been restricted for our movements from one place to another place. The railway concession which was withdrawn during Corona, the whatever railway concession we were getting, even in Telangana state, we were getting some RTC concession of 25%. After the formation of the state 2014, this concession has been withdrawn. In Telangana state, we are not getting road transport concession also. Like in some states, we are getting free transport facility for senior citizens. In some states, 50% concession we are getting. So as far as railways concession also, we have represented to Railway Ministry, Prime Minister also. In fact, we wanted to meet Prime Minister, and we don't want to resort to agitational activities because we are all responsible senior citizens. We can mobilize thousands of senior citizens in a short notice because of our legitimate demands are there. Not only railway concession, implementation of this Maintenance Act, though it was introduced in the year 2017, lot of states, as my friend has already pointed out, when we meet IAS officers at various state governments and central government, most of the IAS officers are not aware of the provisions contained in this act. And also, the rules, the act has been notified by the central government. The state governments have changed the provisions contained in the act in the form of rules. Every state government has to notify their rules in their respective implementation in their respective states. Even in Telangana government also, certain provisions, certain clauses which contains in the main act has been eliminated, and the rules have been notified by the Telangana state government. Not only Telangana state government, other governments also, they are not implementing the act in toto, and they are certain modifications they are making in the rules which is not correct. And we have got a committee of expert committees in our AISCCON, like 18 committees are there. The CSR committee is taking active part in conducting this workshops. For the last 3-4 years, I am observing the activities being undertaken by CSR committee. Even our organizations are running short of funds to run one old age home. We have sent a proposal for setting up an old age home, paid old age home for the pensioners, because pensioners are well paid, they get some pension, and they have their, once if they lose their spouse, and they will become an orphan, and they need some support, and we wanted to establish one old age home with the support of Indian Railways. Our administration has encouraged us, they said they will provide land, building and other things, but we are not getting support from the other departments like Ministry of Social Justice and other, because lack of coordination, there is communication gap between the departments in the central and state government, and the things are getting delayed. Of course, we have got 100% confidence that we will succeed in our endeavor, and in fact, we have succeeded. Our chairman, Railway Board, interacts with me every month, once in a month, whenever I go to Delhi. I sit with my chairman, Railway Board, and lot of issues we could resolve, whatever policy issues are there, because railways are going ahead with mass digitalization. We have conducted national program on digitalization and transformation in Indian Railways, and digitalization programs, lot of programs are conducting, taking the help of administration and other local bodies also. We are very happy to be here today, that we hope that this organization, NIRD, will also help the senior citizens in conducting digital literacy program by giving some support to us. We mobilize the people. I have collected the names of 18 lakh pensioners. It is a very difficult task. Nobody can imagine an organization collecting the names and details of 18 lakh persons, 18 lakh senior citizens. We have collected and we placed before the administration, railway administration. We said if something is implemented, then these people will get affected. So administration got astonished to see the names of 18 lakh people, and they said how it is possible to collect 18 lakh names. Then they have agreed with our proposal to spend some issues of implementation of hospital management systems. The hospital management system was made mandatory for us.
Sorry to interrupt, sir.
After our representation, we could achieve a lot of things. I am
Sir, can you please conclude quickly?
Giving me this opportunity.
DG sir has some important meetings.
Now, we are going to visit the rural technology park.
I would like to request DG sir to please felicitate the members on dais with the shawl and a memento. I request Srimati Naga Chandrika Devi Madam to also please grace the dais and receive the felicitation.
Planning old age also.
Now, we are going to give
Thank you.
to Mr. Dr. Narendra Kumar ji, because he has given good thoughts, and we are very happy to take care. And so many our colleagues asked so many questions. So he is also happy, Mr. Narendra ji, because there are some limitations. He is an upper chair, no doubt. He has got that authority. But personal level, he can suggest to the government, no doubt. I will give him very many thanks. So good clapping here, I must. Thank you for the time. Thank you. Very good function.
ये हमारे खान साहब है, ये भी सीनियर सिटीजन है, तो आपको दिखाएंगे। खान साहब सामने बैठे हैं, तो आज हमारे
Leader and Director General, Director General, Dr. G. Narendra Kumar. It was actually yesterday onwards, he was waiting like a child to see you. I was actually, he was so enthusiastic to meet you, all of you, that ever is inquiring, where are they, are they coming or not. So it was so enthusiastic to meet you, sir. I'm very thankful to sir having come and spent a lot of time actually.
We want some suggestions from
NIID. Yeah, we will make it, sir.
officers.
Sir.
To your Thank you.
Sir, I'm thankful to the Director General. Also, I'm thankful to Vandana. Actually, she has not taken any meal, lunch also. And I also thank to my advisory team, Murali and all the team. They are here from since of 1:30, waiting for it. Thank you very much, all the people. Now we'll go to the RTP now. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Now we'll go to that.